Alright, welcome back to the channel, Warhammer Man Studios. I'm Warhammer Man, and today we're taking a look at this week's Sunday preview. Warhammer 40,000 Battleforces and Necromunda goons and goodies. Before we get started, I'd like to mention this video is sponsored by CMO Games. More on that later. They said it couldn't be done, but the Emperor willed it, and so it has been done. More Battleforce boxes are ready to ship out, flanked by a bunch of Necromunda releases. Let's get stuck in. So Warhammer 40,000 Battleforces. The Christmas boxes will be up for pre-order next Saturday and available the following week for purchase. If you hadn't had a look already, I went through and broke down each of the individual boxes, the viability of it for a starting force, an expansion force, what I would add into it, and then also the value inside of the boxes as well. Most of them come out to about 35 to 40% off roughly, assuming a $210 to $225 price tag. So first we have Battleforce Adeptus Mechanicus, Elimination Maniple. Belisarius Cawl has packed himself up in a Battleforce that's full of surprises. And by surprises, we mean horrible guns and killer robots from humanity's past. This box comprises 20 miniatures, including the Archmagos Dominus himself and more than enough death-dealing cyborgs. Battleforce Imperial Knights, the Chainbreaker Lance. This clutch of knights is a perfect-sized army project. It's just a handful of miniatures after all. The Chainbreaker Lance contains 4 Armiger-class knights led by the Canis Rex, a legendary steed piloted by the equally epic Sir Hector. For those of a less free-blade persuasion, Canis Rex can also be constructed as any Questerus-class knight. Battleforce Thousand Suns, the Court of the Crimson King. Magnus the Red is the 41st Millennium's premier big scarlet-skinned chap, at least until his very angry brother turns up. 20 dusty Rubric Marines and 3 exalted sorcerers living their best arcane life. Next we have Battleforce Death Guard, the Council of the Death Lord. Refusing to be outdone by his brother, magicians are always putting on a show. Mortarion arrives with a rotten assortment of Death Guard, 14 Plague Marines invite double blessings from Nurgle, while the Pale King has even snuck in a clutch of indomitable Blightlord Terminators. And next we have the Battleforce Adepta Sororitas, the Sanctorum Guard. Anyone who had nuns in big metal jumpsuits on their Christmas bingo card is going to be rubbing their hands with glee as the Sanctorum Guard Battleforce, which contains 23 saintly miniatures. Morven Vol spearheads a cohort of 6 Paragon warsuits, while the complement of Celestian Sacrosants and a Battle Sister squad give you more zealots than you can shake a brazier at. And then we have Battleforce Adeptus Custodes, the Watchers of the Gate. Our true love might have given us 5 gold rings this year, but it's not a patch on our Orruk Battleforce absolutely packed with 22 Custodes, including Captain General Trajan Valoris, who is kind of a big deal. This absolute wall of warriors features the Virtus Praetors on their roaring Dauniel jet pikes, adding valuable tactical flexibility. And then we have the Battleforce Imperial Fists, the Bastion Strike Force. Fans of chunky Gravis armor have 19 reasons to be happy with this Imperial Fist Battleforce. Tor Garadan is backed up with the full faith and credit of 15 heavy intercessors, 3 aggressors, and 2 Imperial Fist upgrade sprues. And finally we have Battleforce Raven Guard, the Raven Strike Battleforce. It's hard enough to be stealthy when you're a 9-foot-tall super soldier, but how about the challenge of going covert with not 1 but 2 Invictor tactical warsuits? If anyone would know how to pull that off, it's the Raven Guard. Chapter Master Kaivan Shrike, who also leads squads of Reavers, a trio of Eliminators, and a Phobos Armored Librarian for a total of 17 miniatures ready for an ambush. And now a quick message from this week's sponsor. This video is sponsored by CMOGames.com, where you can get 15% off most Games Workshop pre-orders, and they go live right at midnight Saturday mornings. CMOGames.com offers free shipping on orders over $25 in the US 48, and most orders ship within 24 hours. CMOGames.com has been selling Games Workshop products online for more than 20 years, and customer service is their top priority. CMOGames.com carries the full line of Games Workshop products, including 40k, Age of Sigmar, Kill Team, warcry, paints, hobbies, and tools. Visit CMOGames.com using the affiliate link in the description below so they know you heard about CMOGames.com from Warhammer Man Studios. Now, back to the video. Alright, and next we have the Adeptus Mechanicus Technoarcheologist. So very cool model right here, but has not been available for some time. The Technoarcheologist, once seen in the Escalation expansion for Warhammer Quest Blackstone Fortress, is being released on his own for the first time. An HQ choice for the Adeptus Mechanicus, these bold explorers specialize in keeping units shooting while they search for artifacts. They can even guide servitors through more complex field research, and with 6 Cataphrons in the Elimination Maniple box, this pistol-packing surveyor is the perfect companion piece. So very cool to see him out Obviously, like they said, he was only available in the Blackstone Fortress expansion, and then actually also in the Combat Arena set as well. But both those sets have been gone for a long time. And interestingly enough, this model was originally in a multi-sprue with a bunch of other heroes, regardless of which set you got. So they must have redone him as his own sprue now. So very cool. He is very, very good in game terms and was previously almost impossible to get a hold of. So if you're holding out for him, here he is. So that is very, very cool news. Very good for the Adeptus Mechanicus players. And next we have Warhammer Quest, Cursed City Nemesis. So it says web exclusive on this one, interestingly enough. The quest to save Ulfenkern comes to an end with the final expansion for Warhammer Quest Cursed City. Night Wars will bring your hero's grueling journey to a close with new quests, new enemies, and new ways to use your Soulblight Gravelord collection. You'll need the previous expansion and required miniatures to play. So we talked about this as well. This was obviously just the final chapter in the debacle, which is Corpse City. Very unfortunate how badly Games Workshop dropped the ball on this and how it all turned out. But this is essentially just the last of the expansion sets. It does come with all the cards for the miniatures you'll need to play this expansion, but does not include any of those miniatures. Did a breakdown on this and exactly what you would need and how much it would cost you if you wanted to pick up all these specific miniatures. But the truth is, you know, with the rules in the set like this is going to come out around like probably $50 or $60 like the other expansion. You can use 3D prints, you could use proxies, you could use your existing models, whatever you want. So I'm kind of torn on this. Obviously, the reason I buy Games Workshop is for the miniatures, but, you know, partially some of the lore, the books, some of that stuff as well, the art, etc. But I think for most people, they're buying it just to play the games. So I don't necessarily think this is a bad thing. It's just an interesting direction. And maybe this just is giving us an insight into what's to come in the future from Games Workshop, as they will produce all kinds of stuff, but not bother with the miniatures anymore. We'll see. All right, and then on to Necromunda. So somebody was just asking about the Escher Cutters, and here they are. I didn't think we would see them before the end of the year, but boy was I wrong on that one. So they made it. These are some pretty cool models right here. They are for the Ash Waste game. Very, very cool. I like the look of these overall. 4 of them in the set. Dominate the Ash Waste with these new skimmers found for Escher gangs. This kit includes 4 fast-flying machines with leaders, champions, and prospects can ride. There are head and hair options for the riders, along with a choice of twin-linked heavy stubbers, grenade launchers, or plasma guns. You can find rules for using Escher Cutters in the Aranthian Succession, Cinderdark Burning. So very cool, glad to see them coming as well. And then we have the Escher Tactics cards and Ash Waste Dice. So very cool, the actual gang Tactics cards, and then some new dice for Escher as well. There are 2 sets of Escher Tactic cards coming out, one for vehicles and another for battles in the Underhive. Both contain 18 Escher specific cards and 8 blank cards to keep track of your gangers and vehicles. The Escher Vehicle Tactic cards contain new cards to use in the Ash Waste, while the Escher Gang Tactics set is a reprint of the previous set. And the 8 Escher themed dice are colored in stylish purple with the luxurious golden ink. You get 3 regular D6s, 3 Necromunda injury dice, an ammo die, and a scatter die. So these are not the Escher vehicle dice. These are just regular old Escher dice, apparently. Because it does not mention anything about the actual vehicle stuff. So keep that in mind. Even though they're Ash Waste dice, they're not the actual vehicle dice you need to play Ash Waste. Necromunda Ethera Blade of the Matriarch. So these are Forgeworld models right here. So pretty cool overall. I like it. I tend to shy away from Forgeworld on little models like this. I would rather do my own conversion than have to deal with resin or overpay. Very, very cool though. Definitely look nice. Forgeworld is returning to Necromunda with some new and highly detailed resin kits, starting with Ethera Blade of the Matriarch. Escher gangs can petition for her help in slicing up enemy gangs with her master-crafted chain axe. Ethera is accompanied into battle by her grumpy, caryatid Styx, who has the prescience to help them both avoid harm. And then we have some more Forgeworld, Necromunda Escher Shiver, and Apprentice Clan Chymists. Add extra support to your Escher gang with the Shiver and Apprentice Clan Chymist, a pair of gang-specific resin hanger-ons. This Shiver can see the future and predict great glory for your gang members. Chymists, on the other hand, reduce the cost of chem alchemy elixirs and may even turn deceased matriarchs and gang queens into death maidens. And then next we have Gorshiv Hammerfist for the Goliaths. Again, really nice looking model right here. Super cool. Carrying 2 big beefy hammers. One has a big skull head on it. Pretty awesome. The biggest slab of meat in the under 5 is here, and he's called Gorshiv Hammerfist. Made of resin and armed with the appropriately named power hammers, rack, and ruin. He's ready to guzzle his stash of combat stims and pulverize some fools. He's the perfect hire for any Goliath gang that wants to add yet more muscle to their roster. And then we have, those are all Forgeworld resin models. Necromunda Escher. Next we have Necromunda Escher Ash Waste upgrades. So again, another little Forgeworld upgrade set right here. This time for the Escher. Bunch of new hairstyles and cool backpacks that you would need if you were venturing into the Ash Waste. Get your Escher gang ready for the Ash Waste with a resin upgrade set containing 10 new heads, 10 backpacks, and 10 flasks that pair a wasteland utility with the tried and tested Escher flare. And then we have the Necromunda Underhive Traders. So quite a bit coming for Necromunda. We saw all these previewed, but obviously coming out all at once it looks like. There's pretty much nothing you can't buy on Necromunda if you've got the credits, except maybe an escape from the gang war. These haggling hanger-ons are well versed in the art of the deal. And with the Relic Monger, Gunsmith, and Beast Wrangler in this pack, your gang is going to be well stocked for the civil war that's thundering over the horizon. All 3 are made of resin. So I do really like that Games Workshop has started letting people know when something is resin and metal. That is a huge positive in my opinion, so people can know what to expect. And then next we have Necromunda Chronos Patterned Iron Crawler. So we just saw this previewed. This is basically an upgrade kit for the Cargo 8 Ridge Hauler with a bunch of Forgeworld components. This thing is going to be pricey, we know that. It is very, very cool though. Navigating the Ash Waste is a real pain, and not just because of the lethal weather conditions and bloodthirsty gangs that roam the dunes. The Outlands are littered with difficult and dangerous terrain that cracks axles and gums up drivetrains. Luckily, any gang can conquer the waste when mounted in a Chronos Patterned Iron Crawler, a track beast outfitted with hefty armor. This is a hybrid plastic and resin kit based on the Cargo 8 Ridge Hauler. So it does say any gang here, and that is a little bit misleading because the Ash Waste Nomads do not have access to this vehicle. So make sure you understand that this is not any gang, it's any gang except for the Ash Waste Nomads. And then on to Black Library, we have Gotrek Gurnisson's collection. So this is a collection of 3 different Gotrek adventures. Gotrek Gurnisson is so tough he survived the death of an entire world. Does that make him the best slayer or the worst? Regardless of your position on this, the Gotrek Gurnisson collection rounds up all the Darius Hinks stories of Gotrek and the Mortal Realms in one lavish release, presented in a very fancy slipcase. There's even a bonus never before seen story included the Crown of Karak Khazar, making it a must for every Gotrek superfan. So this is going to be a limited set. It doesn't say anything specifically about if they're signed or numbered on this, but typically with these limited sets, they are signed and numbered. All right, so that is it for this week's pre-orders. Obviously, the big items here are the Battleforces, the Christmas 40k Battleforces. So even though they were delayed a week from the Sigmar boxes, they are in fact up for pre-order next Saturday and will be available for sale the following Saturday. So with any luck, you should be able to get a hold of these in time for Christmas. You'll have about 2 weeks from when they're available to pick them up and get them under the tree. So very, very cool. Again, we did a bunch of breakdowns on all of these for like points, viability as an army, how do they go along with the combat patrols, and then obviously the savings as well. So they all are really good savings. I'm interested to see what the prices will be, if they'll all be exactly the same as last year. We did see some variance. Last year, all the Sigmar boxes were $210. This year, they were $210 again, which is very, very good. So some of these boxes last year were a little more expensive. So I'll be interested to see, but I'm expecting them right around like $225. If they go higher than that, I think it's a mistake, but I think Games Workshop's going to try to get away with $225. And we'll have official prices on that following shortly on Monday. So Adeptus Mechanicus, Technoarcheologist, very cool as well. All the Ash Waste stuff. The final chapter in Cursed City. So very cool. Lots of exciting stuff right here. Let me know what you guys are excited about and what you're going to be picking up. But that's it for today's video. That being said, going to go ahead and wrap it up there. Remember to check out CMO Games for all your pre-order or Warhammer needs to save 15%. Warhammer Man Studios, I'm Warhammer Man, and I'm out of here.